Yo, what's up guys, Have the Requiem here. We are here at Regionals, Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, can't film inside, so we're just gonna tell you what happens as we go along. So let's get into the pregame. Show you what deck I'm taking to Regionals today. Alrighty guys, so this is the deck I took to Regionals, and we're gonna go over it starting with the main deck. For the main deck, we have the standard ratios of 3 Cupsy and 3 Marshmallow. But I actually had 2 Lollipop and 2 Cookie in here. Some people cut these to 1, and I did eventually end up doing that. But this is just what I took to Regionals. And of course, it's pure, so the 1 Obedience Schooled, 2 Sky Strikers, Bells, and the 1 Hornet Drones. This does lose to draw a little bit. Like, if you have to start off with one of these, then you can't Cupsy Synchro. But for the most part, I didn't have to start off with Engage most of the time. Most of the time, if I did, I just had 4 hand traps in my hand, and I could basically manage whatever my opponent's turn had with them. I'm gonna to play 2 field spells and 1 surprise. I used to play 2 surprise, but now only 1 because you can recycle it with the Marshmallow so easily. And I also used to play the Link 2, the Onari that resets quick play spells, but I also don't have to play that now because I have the Marshmallow. That's it for the yummy cards. Let's get into the non-engine. Alright, for non-engine, we have 3 Ash, 3 Bell, and then 3 Dominus Purge. These cards are specifically to answer the Draco Tail trap cards, which definitely came in clutch. Most of the time I would draw 1 or 2 of these in a hand against Draco Tail going second, and I would just win the game because of that. I haven't won very many matches against Draco Tail, but I've won a lot of games against Draco Tail. Next up we have 3 Droll, not very useful against Draco Tail, but in one of my games at the regional, I drolled him on the 1 hand that Draco Tail loses to Droll. So he had like 4 hand traps and a single copy of Ketu, and he just added a Lucius and a Droll, and he was like past turn. That was really fun. And then we have 3 Molchami Fuelos, 3 and 2 Perulia. I don't have my 3rd one yet. That's all for the monster-ish hand traps. And then for the spells, just a cross out, a called by, talents, just anti-hand trap measures. I don't think you have to play all 3 of these. I did cut the talents since the regional. I've been trying that out, so it worked pretty well. And a prosperity. So it's like a pseudo engine card because you're basically always going to find 1 in 6 yummy cards or starters with this card. So it's basically an engine card, but you can use it to find other stuff too. And then of course the 3 imperms, because imperm into Arthalion is really good. I didn't play Valor because I feel like Valor is a little bit weak into the mirror, but I feel like imperm does a little bit more by negating a Herald, or if they're playing Mitsurugi, you can negate some other endboard pieces that they might have. That's the entirety of the main deck that I took to regional. Okay, now for the extra deck, we had, of course, the 3 yummy snatchies. This is in a different sleeve because I did swap out some stuff in the extra deck, so I'm just reconstructing the deck for the video, because I'm going to show you guys the new version of Yummy that I play in my next video. But then, of course, you still needed the Sky Striker Kagari to add back the Hornet Drone for the full combo. We also played, of course, the Link Spider, the Almirage, new edition, Link Rebo. I had this in for the regional, but I found it, 2 days earlier, so I barely got that in for the regional. Get a Masquerena. This used to be the Link to Onari that reset the surprise in the old build, but I swapped it out for this because there was more uses for this in the new build that I was playing. It just sort of stayed in here. I didn't have the Onari put back in here, but SP obviously. And then we have the 3 Synchros. There's an argument to add 1 more Cupsy or 1 more Lollipop to this, just in case of unicorns or whatever. But my local doesn't really have any Kashtira, so it's I figured that 1 of each was enough. I also played Ham, because this deck is still on the Obedience School. You don't want to get caught with your pants down, being locked into Beast and not having an answer to Nibiru. Because sometimes you can make, if you get Nibiru, you can still go Star Ham, bring the guy back, and make Herald. Speaking of, we have the Metal Marcher, as well as the Herald itself. I really hope this card gets banned, but we'll see, maybe. That's the extra deck. Alright, as for the side deck, what we wound up taking is the 3 Retaliating Sea for Draco Tail. This is a little bit annoying, if it survives to your turn, you can't link it off. That's why I wanted to put in the Masquerena, because when I resolved this, I would often find myself with it just stuck on my field with no way to get rid of it. So I couldn't do the Lollipop Bring Back 2 combo because everything was banished. So yeah, I kind of needed an answer to my own retaliating C. So that's why I ended up putting in the Masquerena, mostly. And then the 3 Thrust, because it's good for getting like go first cards. It's also good for getting. It's also just an extra 6 copies of Feather Duster. I could play the 3rd Lightning Storm, but I like to have 2 just in case I can draw into both of them. And then if they have a judgment for one of them, then, or they negate one of them, I can just use the other one. But at that point, I took out the Duster eventually because I figured that if they negate my Lightning Storm or they negate my Thrust, I really don't care that much. Specifically because if they Dragotail Flame this thing, then I have nothing to worry about. The flame is gone. I don't need to resolve a back row wipe because I can play through a bounce or a banish from grave. But usually against Dragotail, I don't wind up putting in the Thrust unless I'm going first, because they don't usually activate that many monster effects on my turn until the 5 mana or the Gugumo, neither of which I want to resolve. So I usually try to keep Thrust out of the deck going second against Dragotail. That's all for the go second cards, really. For the go first card, we have an anti-spell because this is still a crazy card. I picked up a Starlight of this at the regional, actually. I was going to swap it in, but I wound up trading it off before that, so have to keep with the nice Platinum Secret Rare copy. Still a really nice one. Then we have the 1 Judgment, because it is at 1, for good reason. And then the DDG for Dragotail. Obviously, I don't know if this hurts any other decks. I think it's just for Dragotail, but I feel like I have a good enough game plan against Dragotail that I was able to take this out of the side deck. But that's what I played. And then we have the Rabbit, which sets continuous traps from deck that can summon themselves as monsters. We play the 2 Apophis cards. Apophis, the Serpent, it can summon itself and then set a trap from the deck that can summon itself as a monster. And then Swamp Deity specials itself and then negates face-up cards on the field up to the number of monster traps you control, of other monster traps you control. So the combo is, you set this, in this draw phase you activate it to special summon and set this, and you can use it this turn. And then when they activate something like a Dark Ruler or whatever, because you can't respond to Dark Ruler with monsters, or if they Forbidden Droplet send spells and monsters, they don't send any trap cards. You can flip this up, special summon it, target the Droplet to negate it. Or not even target, just negate the Droplet. So yeah, I recently just got this engine, and it's been doing really well for me. The extra negate from just 2 random bodies is really nice to have going first. So that is the side deck. So round 1, played against Mitsurugi Fiendsmith. They break both games. Cause, like, he didn't like break game 1. Game 1 I just set up full Yami board. Herald did everything, and I had roll in hand, but I forgot I can't roll under Herald. And then what happened was I let him summon like the ritual monster. He went Aramasa at one point to add a monster, and I just purged it. And then he added the ritual spell off of the red one, whatever his name is. And then I just heralded the ritual spell. He normal summons Lacrima. He sends the engraver, and I go, okay, resolution, Snatchy, Synchro, Cookie Book 2, and he just scooped. Game 2, he went first. He went like normal summon Lurry, he went like Fiendsmith stuff, he didn't draw any Mitsurugi cards. He had a Droll in his hand. He dueled me after my Cupsy Synchro on my turn, but he just went like Lacrima. I imperm the Lacrima, he makes Necro Equip, he passes. He winds up getting the Fiendsmith Trap engrave, and he sends my Field Bud engrave before I use my Marshmallow effect, so I just add the field spell back, put it back on the field, and kill him. So yeah, see you guys round 2. Alright guys, checking in after round 2. Hard fought battle against Dragotail. Game 1, I set up the full board with no interruptions again, and I just kind of kill him. Game 2, we both kind of brick, but not really. His hand is like Ketu and nothing else, and I roll him, which usually does nothing against Dragotail. So after game 1, I sided out my Drolls. But then I drew my opening hand and there was a copy of Droll in there. So it's like, oh, I only sided out 2 Drolls by accident. So the 1 Droll in my deck actually came up. So that's pretty cool. And game 3, Game 2 actually. I had like my hand was like Marshmallow Lightning Storm, and I do a Lightning Storm for turn, so like Lightning Storm get rid of the one back row. And he said it was just one of the traps he negated in. He used it was the flame he negated and drew a card. I was like, okay, he didn't draw into anything, but I went full combo, and then he ashed my Cupsy, and then bounced it back to my hand, and then I was like, okay. And then game 3, I just I kind of set up the full board again, but I forgot to make Hat Rabbit. Because I forgot to make Hat Rabbit, I didn't have enough negates for all his stuff. His hand was broken. His hand was like Ketchu, Malulu, Rahu, and like 2 other cards. I think he had an Urgilla and something else, and he drew for turn. So yeah, hard fought match. Did lose that one. We're 1-1 now. Let's keep going. Alright guys, here we are after round 3. So Draco Tail. So yeah, that's how that went. Basically game 1, he just goes first because I lost the dice roll, obviously, and he just sets up everything, and he wins. Game 2, very funny. We both bricked, but I drew 4 trap cards and an Ash Blossom. So yeah, my hand was Ash, Imperm, Purge, the Apophis Trap, and a Judgment. And eventually, after not drawing playable for like 4 turns, he tried to play. I was like, he slapped a Brand Fusion on the field. I'm like, Judgment, and he's like, okay, pass. I draw a card, and it's a Cupsy, and I can play. I win. Game 3, Draco Tail stuff, and I die. It was a long-ish game. It was like 4 or 5 turns, but I still died in the end. There are like, what, 6 rounds left today? I just want to win a single match against Draco Tail. If I do that, I'll be happy. Alright, round 4, nice change of pace. We're playing against Malice. Like, I didn't really expect to see today, but I guess it's not that surprising, because it's like still like a decent deck. But like, what happened was essentially game 1, I drew 4 hand traps and a Cupsy. My opponent went first, and he kind of just killed me because of a funny chain of events to where I asked something, he called bide, I asked something, he called bide. In the same chain, I activated Swallows, and he chained Ash because it hadn't resolved to be negate for the Ash to be negated yet. So I definitely should have waited for that to happen, then he wouldn't have like gone as crazy with the Swallows being active. So definitely a misplay on my part, but we learn for next time. Game 2, I drew, my hand was like double Purge, Ash, Imperm, Thrust, and I die. So yeah, that kind of happened. 1-3, 5 more rounds. All I want to do today is beat Draco Tail in a best of 3 match. That's all I want to do today. And today is mostly just practicing for the big YCS in February. And I will update you guys more on that in the future. And maybe we'll do some local training sessions in the next couple of videos. Because I haven't been on the channel in a while, and I figured that I would start the channel back up with the YCS training arc. Let's see what happens in round 5. We'll keep you guys updated. Alright guys, round 5 and 6 have concluded. Round 5, I lost a pretty good game against Vanquish Soul K9. It's pretty cool to see the Vanquish Soul cards actually being used still, rather than just pure K9. He was actually playing like a more Vanquish Soul focused deck. So that was pretty cool. Round 5, my opponent dropped, and I am now very hungry, and I'm getting picked up. So I have dropped the tournament, and let's go to the post game to see what happened. Alright guys, we're back with the deck, and the deck is really good overall. I just need to get a little bit better at playing it with all the new cards that I threw in last minute. I didn't really have time to practice before the regional. There weren't that many locals to test with before the regional, so I sort of just familiarized myself with combos and different interactions and stuff. But again, the deck is very good. This is like the best or second best deck in the game right now. I just have to get better at playing it, and that's really all there is. And also, all the variants of this deck that are not pure, so Mitsurugi, Silphicord, even other pure variants are just, in general, stronger than this deck, and especially Draco Tail. Draco Tail is, like, way better than this deck. Out of the 3 Justice Hunters decks, Draco Tail was this deck's hardest matchup. And the fact that I didn't win a single match against Draco Tail during the regional definitely shows that. So I definitely have to get better at my technical play and recognizing different situations. That's all I can really say about the deck for now, guys. But stay tuned for the locals video of the new version of this deck, Silphicord Yummy. I'll see you guys in the next one.